We're gonna be going through 6 different exercises. We'll take them 2 rounds through 30 seconds apiece. All you need is a light dumbbell and a resistance band loop if you have one. Let's get started. Our first superset today, we're gonna start with a bridge on the floor. If you have a resistance band loop, you can grab it. Sometimes you can take a long loop and tie it together. If you don't have a band, no worries. I'm gonna grab mine, put it right above my knees, and then lie down on the mat. So you wanna place your heels directly under your kneecaps. From here, drive through your heels, lift your hips off the floor, and then lower down. Good, we're gonna be here for 30 seconds. I want you to focus on not lifting your hips too high. So we wanna lift to the point where there's a straight line from your knees to your pelvis to your shoulders, and then lower down. If you've got the band on, it's just a great way to kind of fire up your outer hips and glutes as well. So make sure your knees are pressing out against the band the whole time. We're gonna be here for another 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna have you flip over, keeping the band on if you've got one. In 3, 2, and 1. Good, drop those hips down. We're gonna roll over now into what I call a bear plank. So starting on your hands and knees, shoulders will stack over the wrists. You're gonna tuck your toes under, hover your knees off the floor. Now this is where we're gonna start just holding in this plank. Right away, I want you to think about scooping your belly up and in, kind of closing your ribs together and pushing the floor away from you. Especially if you're a newer mom, this right here should be challenging enough just to kind of reconnect with that core. We're gonna be here for another 10 seconds. Make sure your hips aren't lifting too high and they're not sinking low. Right in line with the shoulders. We're going right back to your bridge in 3, 2, and 1. Drop those knees down, swing it around. So this time we're gonna add on to the bridge a little bit. If it feels comfortable, you're gonna lift your hips up, press the knees out and in, and then drop back down. At the top of this bridge, once again, you wanna really make sure we're firing up through our center. So I like to think here about closing my ribs together and really squeezing my butt cheeks. This is kind of graphic, like you have $1 million bill in between them and you do not want it to fall. So give me that nice little squeeze, press out, resist in. We're gonna go for 8 more seconds, and then you're right back into that bear plank again. I'll give you an option to spice it up in 3, 2, and 1. Let's roll it back onto our hands and knees. So option A is just stay with that static hold. Option B, if you're feeling comfortable, tuck the toes, hover the knees. You're gonna bring hand to opposite shoulder. So the goal here is to keep that pelvis as still as possible. Now, I would say if you're pretty new in this postpartum experience, you're just gonna wanna do the hold. This is a little more challenging, a little more aggressive, but if you're ready, I say give it a try. We're gonna be here for another 8 seconds. Try to keep those hips as still as you can. You got 4, 3, 2, and 1. We have 1 final round through that bridge. So same thing, heels under the knees, taking that add on if you've got it. Hips lift up nice and high, little out, resist in, and drop back down. Now some people, especially when you're rebuilding your core strength, tend to find bridges hurt their lower back. Make sure your hips aren't lifting too high up, right? Sometimes we kind of overarch and extend through the spine, and that starts to put a lot of pressure on your low back. So give me that nice straight line from knees to hips to shoulders. We're back in that bear plank 1 more time. It's my favorite exercise. 3, 2, 1. Drop it down, swing it around. Shoulders right over the wrists, knees under the hips. Final 30 seconds here. Hover those knees. Now I'm gonna start in just the hold, right? Focusing on those checkpoints, shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hips, closing my ribs together, making sure my hips are level with shoulders. And you know what? I got 15 seconds left. I'm gonna add those shoulder taps. It's even challenging for me, right? I'm like very far postpartum and these are still hard for me. So it's all about getting a little stronger all the time. We're gonna be here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Your first superset is done. So we can ditch that band. For your second round, we are gonna have the option to add a weight, but first I want you to take it just body weight only so we can get used to the movements. You get to lie on your back again, that's the good news. First move is called a dead bug. It's like a very beautiful name for an exercise. You're gonna start with your knees right over your hips, arms to the sky. From here, you're gonna extend opposite arm and leg out and hold, and then come back to center. And then we'll switch this round. Opposite arm and leg, and then come back to center. So the trick with your dead bug is you want to focus on flattening your spine into the ground, knitting your ribs shut. Good. Hold it here. We're gonna go for another 6. That's it. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rolling onto your hands and knees. I promise it is not another bear plank. We call this a bird dog. You're focusing a lot on stability. So starting in that tabletop position, same thing, opposite arm and leg will reach. Just hold for 3, 2, and 1, and then switch to the other side. I want you to focus right now on your arms and legs growing longer with every single extension. And it's that same concept of knitting your ribs shut. So closing at the rib cage, drawing your belly up and looking right in front of you. These are like deceptively challenging. You've got just about 6 more seconds. We're gonna go back in to that dead bug, but I have an option for you. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so if you're ready, if you want a little bit of a challenge, you're gonna grab one lightweight. I've got a 5-pounder today. And lie down on your mat. So this time we're gonna focus on just one side at a time. My weight is in that right hand. I'm gonna go ahead and extend my right arm, left leg out, and then come back to center. And I'll do that again. So same thing here. As you extend arm and leg, you wanna flatten your back into the ground. What I like about this is you'll feel the sides of your waist, those are called your obliques, activating. Good, we're gonna be here for another 10 seconds. If the weight becomes too aggressive, ditch it, totally fine, right? You got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, I'm gonna keep this weight going into that dead bug. So, not dead bug, bird dog. There are a lot of animal names here. So coming onto your hands and knees, once again, your arm and leg will reach out. Now this time, I want you to go ahead and bring elbow to knee, and then extend nice and long. So there's a lot of core stability and control here. I'm gonna think about rounding my spine, kind of like a scared cat, drawing elbow to knee. Same thing if you're like, okay, that weight is just a little bit bananas, ditch the weight, totally fine. But do grow a little bit longer through the arm and leg. We're gonna be here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we got 2 sides of our body. Let's flip it over, get the other side now. Weight's going in my left hand, going back to that beautiful dead bug, extending arm and leg out. That's it, and come back to center. Final round through this. This is usually the point where either we tune out or our body just starts to fatigue a little bit. Try to make sure you have the same good form on each side, yeah? Flattening that back into the ground, closing the ribs together, and make sure you're breathing. I always forget to breathe, right? Exhale, inhale. Beautiful, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Back to those hands and knees, all over the place, but at least we have not had to stand up yet once. Hands and knees, arm and leg reach out. Let's go into that bird dog, scoop elbow to knee, and reach nice and long. So imagining here like your body is a piece of taffy and someone is pulling it from both ends. We go a little bit stronger every single time we extend out. You only have 15 seconds left. Really push down into that right hand that's on the floor. That's gonna help you stabilize and stay strong for your final 6. We get to ditch that weight for a second in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that weight down. All right, I have one more superset for you. And once again, you get to lie down to start. That's my present to you. So we're gonna take what's called a hollow body hold position. I'll give you a couple of options. First option is very similar to that dead bug we were in with your knees bent. Second option, if your core is feeling a little stronger, you can extend the legs out nice and long. Weight's gonna go just in that right hand. We're opening out to the side, coming back center. Out to the side, and coming back center. So this is called anti-rotation. You wanna keep your hips still. You wanna keep your ribs still. Literally all that's moving is your arm. Let me tell you, I'm doing this right now with the weight. It's very challenging. If you need to ditch the weight, ditch the weight. Totally fine. All right, we're almost there. Open, take it back in 5 seconds. I promise you get to set the weight down for a second in 3, 2, and 1. Good, just set that weight down. We're gonna move on to our side. We're gonna take this down to a side plank now. So go ahead and stack your knees. You want your knees in line with your hips, in line with your shoulder. We're just gonna press down into our forearm, lift our hips up, and you just have to hold. That's it, easy breezy, right? If you want, you can reach an arm up to the sky. Just focus on pushing down into your forearm, getting your hips as high off the floor as you can, and breathe. We're halfway through here. Now, if you wanna level up slightly, you could extend that top leg out, but I'll give you another option when we do this again to level up even further. We're gonna be here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, drop it down. Of course, we gotta be even on both sides, right? So you're gonna grab that weight again, and we'll take it lying back down for that hollow body hold. Once again, knees bent is gonna be your first option. If you're ready for that challenge, legs go out, bring your arm out to the side, and come back center. Yeah, good. Same thing, you can see my lower back is pushing down into the floor. What I want you to avoid is this arching through the low back. You can see my ribs are kind of splaying open. Ow, 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 my lower back is gonna hurt tomorrow. So press your back down, and if you can't keep it down, that's a good sign. You probably wanna bend the knees as you redevelop that strength. We're gonna be here for another 10 seconds. I still bend my knees a lot in a hollow body position because it's hard. Good, you guys are gonna be here for another 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's take it back into that side plank. Roll it on up. We're just gonna set that weight to the side. So rolling this onto your left side, same thing, knees are stacked, hips are stacked. Press into that forearm, lift those hips up, and hold. I want you to try to imagine making as much space as you can underneath the side of your waist, almost like you're creating a little rainbow shape under your body. Same thing, if you want, you can take that top leg out. Now this is as you keep doing this video and growing stronger, you can also come all the way up onto your feet, staggering the feet, and if you're really ready to level up and advance, you'll go into stacked foot position, and that'll just come over time and practice. We've got another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do that one more time, you guys. This final round, we're gonna work both sides at the same time. Take that hollow position, open the arm out to the right, come back to center, and then take it out to the left. So same thing, you're just finding that anti-rotation, and if you're like, Melody, I've been working on this, I feel strong, those legs are gonna go out, we're gonna keep them out. You're only here for 20 more seconds, so I think you've got this. Check in with those legs, try to make sure they're not moving side to side. Sometimes we get this like windshield wiper opposition. We want to hold them as still as possible. 10 seconds, you guys. Last time we have to do this. I'm going to bend the knees a little bit because I think I'm cheating and arching my low back, and that's no good. You got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. One final move. This time again in our plank position, we're going to go both elbows down, traditional forearm plank. So all I want you to do is drop your elbows to the mat, stack your shoulders over those elbows, zip your legs shut, and hold. Now, if you're, again, newer to this, rebuilding after a baby, whatever the case is, we'll take those knees down, all right? Same goal here, close the ribs, tighten up through the belly, squeeze your butt. We're here for 15 more seconds, all right? I'm gonna come back onto my feet. I want my head growing longer, my heels pressing back further. 10 more seconds. Spread the fingers nice and wide to push the floor away from you. Almost there, you guys. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Fantastic work today. Thank you so much for joining in this core workout. I would definitely recommend doing this at least 2 to 3 times a week with whatever your favorite workouts are, and hopefully you'll see results very, very soon.